like or don't like my podcast.
Right.
Also, I was like, I'm not giving you homework. You're not like assigned to do this.
Unlike all the shit you make me do, asshole.
Which I don't do anyway.
No. We're streaming BT Tips.
Nice. All right. Can stop talking about my therapy. Everything's therapy.
You know what? After watching reality TV, more people need to do therapy and be open about it. To make it real. What?
Probably, yeah. I should lean into the mic. Lean in, baby. Speak from the diaphragm. Sexy. Should we clap it?
Mm-hmm.
Are we streaming and you're recording and all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I look crazy. I feel like I look crazy.
What's up, guys? It's On Fire Tonight with Josh and Tressa. We are here today to talk about Man in the High Castle Season 3, Episode 1. The episode is called Now More Than Ever, We Care About You. This is your one and only warning. We are about to have a conversation that spoils the episode, so if you haven't seen it already, pause this, watch it, come back. You're back. Welcome back. Let's get into it. Tressa, what'd you think?
I was kind of bored.
Really? Holy shit. We have a season break. All that shit that like cliffhangery stuff that we left off last time. Fucking Thomas going off to his death.
Yeah, he was like, yo, Reich, I got a surprise for you and it's me. And they're like, dope, we're going to come pick you up and murder you.
Yeah, they send the guy out with a giant butterfly net.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thomas is like, farewell, mother.
I'm a good Nazi, right, mother? You are. You know what, Thomas? You are. You are just as stupid as the rest of them. Congratulations. Hey, Mom, it's your fault.
He sees his father honored. And he's like, I know in my heart that I have to do what's right for the Reich, just like my dad, who I idolize. Right? Like, isn't that what led him to those decisions?
Yeah, it's 100%. And his parents got nobody to blame but themselves.
Big time. So you were bored. You were bored.
I don't feel like a lot of stuff happened. Like, okay.
I was literally moved to tears.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Heartless.
Like, no, your reaction is your reaction, and it's just as valid as mine. I love the fact that we're going to have this conversation because it's like, what are these two different responses to the same thing?
Okay, question.
Sure.
End of last season. Mm-hmm. What year was that? It
was 61 or 62, I think. I mean, it's unclear to me just how much time has passed. Right. Because in some of these storylines, it seems like there must have been a lot of time.
And the John Smith or whatever, that was like, it seemed like just a few weeks or something.
Except maybe it wasn't. Like,
oh, sure.
Maybe a lot of stuff happened. He went back and forth to Germany to get like, you know, medals bestowed upon him, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I dig the new apartment though.
Right. They moved out of Long Island. See you later, Long Island.
Gorgeous. Mom's an alcoholic now.
Oh my God. I can't believe.
Yeah. Like, what's her problem?
No, I'm saying like, I don't know that I'd be able to hold it together as well as either of them.
Oh, I would fully be in that mom's shoes, stumbling around the house at 4 p.m. Fuck all you guys.
She's got 2 living daughters.
Son. Yeah, fuck you. I don't have my son. Fuck you guys. Nope. Everyone knows a son's mom is always a son's mom.
Oh, all right. Yeah, fuck those daughters. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
fuck them.
Get married already. You're someone else's problem.
Go make more babies. I don't give a shit. You guys are Nazis. That's what you do. He comes home and it's like,
I love it. As the mom, you're putting that on them, your own daughters, who you've like completely raised to be Nazis.
yeah. Dad comes home and he's like, "Hey, what's up? You have what's up? You have a nice day? What'd you do today?" "Oh, I visited the old house and stared in the window." Oh,
Yeah,
God.
and the random people who now live there were nice enough to drive me from Long Island
Yeah. How
back
long of a
to
drive was
here.
that? Were they doing that because you know who my husband is, and I'll be pissed if you don't? Because that's fine. I just want to know.
Maybe. Fucking shit's going down in Utah. We jump all over the map in this
Mhm.
episode. We're in Germany, we're in Utah, we're in the neutral zone, we're in New York, covering a
What?
lot of ground.
Oh, Utah is where they were testing the bomb, right?
Yeah. Tagomi and Keto are both present for a bomb test, which is like nowhere near as hellacious as what was in the film that they delivered that came from that parallel timeline. So
A
Keto is
bomb's a
like, the
bomb.
Nazis are going to figure this out. And Tagomi's like, yeah, maybe not.
Don't tell anyone.
Ixnay on the Ellington.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tagomi's more concerned that like the arms race will completely bankrupt them, which valid point.
Is he really?
Yeah. He makes that point to whoever the guy in charge was,
Oh, I guess I didn't
because
notice
they
that.
have to just keep building more and more bombs to have parity with the Reich. The Reich has all the Heisenberg bombs. And so, just like the US and the USSR, the arms race is just all about like, we're going to be able to nuke the world a bazillion times. Well, we can nuke the world a bazillion and 2 times. So we win.
Congratulations to us.
Right. Big time. Big time.
But we didn't get a lot of Tagomi except for that, right? Was there something else?
There was a little bit of Tagomi here and there, like okay, so we see Juliana.
Guess who she's staying with?
Yeah, I thought you might be excited about that.
I put it in the chat. I was so excited. I met in High Castle's wife or partner or whatever's Ann Magnuson. It's so exciting.
Yeah, fucking Ann Magnuson.
Robot noises.
Yeah, bong water, a Vulcan death grip. She was doing her own Pee-wee's Playhouse thing.
Yeah, she was. Icon. Literal and not overused word icon.
Yeah, the fucking, I've seen her perform with Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Icon. She's amazing.
Yeah, I love her.
All right, so Juliana's staying with Stephen Root and Ann Magnuson. Well, just like, we haven't even really dug into the fact that Stephen Root is like one of the greatest living actors. And he's just like,
we did when he first showed up, we gushed a little bit, but he's back, so we can do it again.
Yeah. It's weird because like he has to play like a half psychotic person.
Yeah, that's got to be awesome and fun to do, and he's great at it.
I think so, except that like he plays so many characters, a wide range of characters, and they always feel grounded and real. This feels the furthest afield to me of all the characters I've ever seen him play.
That's fair. I see that.
All right, so we've also got Trudy, but not the Trudy that grew up in this timeline. This Trudy is a traveler who comes to us from a different timeline, and she's antsy to return to it. And at one point, we see her almost like quantum leap out in a bathtub, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's super antsy. Like she's just pacing around some field looking around. What are
Right?
you looking for, Trudy? What are you looking for? You're not finding it here. Just go take a nap or something. Settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Juliana's doing target practice with Ann Magnuson. Seems pretty cool.
They hate those cans.
Fuck those cans. Uh, I, I love a Steve Martin reference.
Hey, who doesn't? Juliana, I guess, is looking for her. Is it her parents that sent her a postcard? Who sent
Um,
her that postcard?
right. Who did send her that postcard? Someone who's in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah. And she meets a new friend who tells her where that is exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't know where the postcard came from. So she has to go to this like Rick's Cafe from Casablanca type place in the
Mhm,
neutral zone
mhm.
where, smugglers and gun runners
It's
mix among the common folk,
like
and
the
everybody gets down to the newest sound.
yeah, where do you get a load of this sound? Hey, what it's why does the neutral zone look like such a shithole all the time? They don't have any sort of infrastructure whatsoever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's no federal government, so there's no infrastructure. There's no one to put money into infrastructure. There's no money at all.
it's just like the Wild West.
It is, yeah, it's the Wild West. And there's
That's a
something sort of like there's something like ruin pub about this also. Like it looks a little bit like the clubs and stuff in the Weimar era in Cabaret, if you ever saw that.
was it a
Also,
musical?
yes, that's a musical. You hate musicals, I know. But also, there is a song from Cabaret in this episode. All right.
And it
So
was.
at so there's a ceremony for Thomas at his old high school. It's been renamed
Oh my
Thomas
God.
Smith High School, and it's attended by the whatever Reichsmaster or whatever of North America, George Rockwell, who's a real life, the leader of the American Nazi Party from real life, and
Great.
J. Edgar Hoover, played by William Forsythe. Anyway, at the ceremony, a kid sings Tomorrow Belongs to Me.
Oh
Now,
yeah. Okay.
Tomorrow Belongs to Me is a very believable Nazi anthem that was written in the 60s for Cabaret. So this is an anachronistic thing that wouldn't have
That's
been written until several years later in our timeline. And it's like a very anti-fascist piece of theater.
right.
But like, yeah. So anyway, that song uh is performed by a kid, and then they had the unveiling of this like glorified portrait of Thomas, and the daughter is the first to rise with her arm up in the salute. That's what moved me to tears.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Absolutely. I was, oh my
What?
God, it pulled on my heartstrings.
That's sweet. That's nice. I had a different reaction.
Tell me about it.
It was just, what the fuck? This is fucking insane. That is your that is your older brother, and you're, what do they call it? Sig-heiling him?
Uh-huh.
It's weird. I didn't care for it. Everyone is like worshiping this gigantic painting of a kid that sacrificed himself for a fucking Nazi party. No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I get it. I get why no, thank you. I hate, like, every other part of the mother's journey in this episode, I found more emotional than that little girl. Like, I don't understand Nazis. They're weird, Josh.
But like, don't like, there's so much going on in that moment. There's like, the family has got to feel like each of them feels like they're crucified, right?
With a spotlight on them the
with
entire day.
with a spotlight on them, and the little girls literally are looking to their parents and asking them, how am I supposed to feel? And they get an answer that barely makes sense.
Thank
Right?
you. Yes, I found it confusing because it sounded more like she was asking if it was okay to be happy than if it was okay to be sad. And I thought that in her place, she would be more concerned of appearing to be sad because it was a celebration of Thomas not awake or whatever. And the way it was said, the way it was delivered confused me. I didn't know which way she was going with that question.
I think that they were asking for permission to mourn, and her dad was giving her sort of simultaneous permission to mourn, but instruction that for the purpose of the party, because there's a lot of the party stuff going on in this episode.
Yeah, there is.
For the purpose of the party, Thomas now doesn't just belong to us as a family, but he belongs to everyone because he transcended through his
Sacrifice.
Yeah, he made a noble sacrifice of himself for the party, and he's a hero now, and he's like a public figure.
And that whole conversation, I was like, oh, Mom has the strength of a fucking Olympian champion by not fucking flipping that table right now. No.
Yeah, and she, like, the two of them, like, holding it together with the family and holding it together in public. Anyway, all of that going on, I found very moving.
Well, as we know, I have no heart, so that's fine.
Also, okay, so Nicole, who we know as one of the Lebensborn that was like sort of maybe girlfriend of Joe Blake back in Berlin, she's now like taking the reins of propaganda. Like, Leni Riefenstahl is getting older, and so we need some like hot young blood. So she comes into the Minister of Propaganda in New York and just fucking pulls rank on him. And
yeah, he's a total dick about it. And
he's
she's
a
like,
dick
no,
about
that's
it.
cool.
He's
That's
basically like a character from Mad Men. He's like, hey, little lady, it's nice to meet you. And she's like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Go fuck yourself. Here's what's going to happen. I'm taking over. Goodbye.
I mean, sort of, she's like so much smoother about that. Like she manages to pull rank, but also like allow him not to lose face either. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like
that's an incredible tap dance.
Yeah, it's an incredible tap dance that women throughout the centuries have learned, because if they don't do it, they'll be crushed. And it
seems to work pretty well in this one.
Yeah, no, she knows it well. She's a smart lady. She knows how to play the system.
Apparently.
And her, goddamn, her with the camera guy at the celebration of Thomas. That's one of the other reasons where I was like, fuck this, dude, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously it sucks, but he's recording the guy saying the speech or whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, that character is supposed to be real life American Nazi Party leader George Rockwell, who's ascended, obviously, the ranks of the Nazis in this timeline.
A lucky guy. And she's like, hey, get a load of start videotaping the Smiths. And he's like, no way, they'll shoot me. And she's like, no, if you don't, I will shoot you, or whatever she says. And
That's pretty
it's,
much what she says.
yeah. And so it's just gross and dirty because they're just like preying on the Smiths while they're in such a like fucked up state.
Right. And I think that is supposed to echo like the kids after JFK's assassination. Like, there's like iconic images of them by the gravesite as children.
I mean, and it's not even like a Nazi thing to do that, obviously, because you just said that. But yeah, it's just gross. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't like it. Anyway, we don't need to go back to that. So, yeah, so she's got this job. She's taking care of business. TCB, making a documentary about the Lebensborn or whatever the fuck they're called. And she was.
I don't know if wait, is she trying to make a documentary about the Lebensborn?
Yeah, that's what she told Joe Blake.
Oh, okay.
He's like, no, thank you. And she's like, oh, yeah? What if I take my shirt off? And he's like, okay.
Yeah, well, he's in a very fragile state.
Why is that? He seems fine.
Okay, so since the end of the last season, he
got stranded on a desert island and then put in a jail cell, and his beard is all grown out and his hair is all grown out. And here's the thing, this is why I used to be a hairstylist. See, the thing is, his hair had grown out like maybe 6 inches since he's been in jail since the last season. Juliana's hair is like 1.5 feet, 2 feet longer than it was at the end of the last season. What is she putting in her hair to make it grow so fast? That's not possible in 1 year.
I have no idea. Don't some people's hair just grow longer faster?
No, 6 inches, 6 inches a year is the average. It's not going to, like, 1.5 feet is impossible in 1 year. So anyway,
maybe she's got a cool 60s mod weave.
Those hippies and revolutionaries always wearing weaves.
I mean, maybe she's got like a little hairpiece. Like they had lots of cool hair pieces back in the 60s.
In the neutral zone.
That's all they had. That's what they barter with in the neutral zone.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
The only thing she can do to cheer up Trudy is put on different wigs.
And make puppets with the ones she's not wearing. The best puppet shows.
So back at Rick's Cafe in the neutral zone.
Wait, we got to talk about Joe Blake.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Joe Blake, full on Viking beard, crazy hair. He's been tortured in prison and re-educated.
He looks like he should have a volleyball with a handprint on it. He looks crazy.
So he's barely clinging to sanity. They bring him to the cell that they've held his father in. They have a quick reunion. This is clearly the first time they've seen each other in a long time, maybe since they were captured.
Yeah, probably. Dad is nutso. I mean, always, but I don't even remember what he said, but like,
he's like, they've been helping me. They've been like re-educating me, helping me see the error of my ways.
Congratulations.
And he tells Joe, like, do what they say. Like, they're right for the good of the party. Do what they tell you to do. He tells them that over and over again. And then
what happens? They have lunch and a nice little nosh and some coffee.
They get separated. Some haircuts. Time has passed. They got some haircuts and some shaves.
Nice.
They got brought into a big warehousey looking room.
Oh, they're gonna do like a costume party where they like change up their prison uniform and put on suits and like have a fashion show and stuff. Is that what happens next?
Yeah, maybe, because it looks like they might be about to do some sort of like weird,
Sex stuff.
yeah, like maybe an S&M scene. One guy's got like a mask over his eyes and there's a
Hot.
gun being loaded.
Oh, hot. The pressure's on.
So they unmask Heisman. He sees Joe Blake. He's like, do what you have to do. You must do this. Harden your heart. You have a heart of steel. And the guy hands Joe a gun, obviously to kill his own father in atonement. This is how you show loyalty. You're going to have to kill your traitorous father, who the only thing you ever wanted and the only thing you hated the most was this fucking guy. So in a sense, you get like some serious closure.
Yep. No
but in
questions
another
there.
sense, you'll never have closure.
Nope. Always traumatized.
So he shoots his dad.
Oh, he's fine though, right?
Himmler,
just like in the foot.
who is now like in charge of everything, is in the room. He strokes Joe's face and then pins like a rune pin on his lapel.
I missed the pin part.
Yeah. So there's a rune that's like some Nazi symbol. And later we see some other people wearing those same rune pins. It's the guys who break into Man in the High Castle's house.
Oh, the upside down peace sign thing?
Yeah, the upside down peace sign thing is like a rune thing.
I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it can make life confusing in the modern day because like maybe you see runes and you're like, oh, maybe this person is just like into runes, or maybe this person is a modern day Nazi.
Yeah, because they like to take everything and make it bad.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So anyway.
So he's doing fine. Joe Blake's, he's alive, he's out of jail, having a great time. No trauma whatsoever.
So we cut back to later where Nicole is taking off her shirt. And it's understandable why Joe is fragile now.
I'm still not getting it. Nazis don't believe in therapy, do they?
I don't know.
I mean, that's got to fall under.
They're definitely not into Freud.
Oh, they are not.
No.
I just had an epiphany. Josh, Nazis are fucked up in the head. And they don't do anything about it.
I think they take a lot of amphetamine.
Yeah, that helps.
Does it?
Nope. No. Yeah, that's
okay. So I just want to like get back to J. Edgar Hoover, who's he was like a big deal in the Nazi party now. Like J. Edgar Hoover and Obergruppenführer John Smith, who is now Oberstgruppenführer. He has gotten a rank promotion that's even more Obers than before.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, so I think, if he was a general, he's like a 4-star general now. He's a big deal. Those guys were once loyal American soldiers and patriots who switched teams and rose through the ranks. Also, we see a guy like that maybe in the Pacific.
What do you mean a guy like that?
So Keto.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
His old sergeant must have gotten killed in that bomb blast at the end of last season. And now there's a new guy who is American born, half white, from Hawaii, and like barely speaks Japanese.
What an asshole.
Well, he's doing his best. And he's given the file for Hagen, who's like one of the resistance guys.
I don't remember Hagen.
Hagen was
see
in
him?
it. Yeah, Hagen was in last season.
I mean, I believe that. I just don't remember.
He was a priest who was like no longer a priest, but like,
Was he at that super cool underground club that used to be a train station?
no, he's in the Pacific. So
okay.
so he was like he was hanging out with Gary, aka Larry. Right. He's
okay.
he's part of Sarah's whole resistance squad.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of lines, I think is what it was.
He had a little bit, like he did a sermon in the
Oh.
woods thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so
and the whole
Keto
time that
is
Keto's
like trying to
talking
attack
to this guy.
Yeah.
This whole scene with Keto in his office, talking to this guy, doing whatever, looking at paperwork. People just being murdered outside his window over and over, firing line of like dozens of people over and over and over the entire fucking scene.
Yeah. The Kempetai is taken out anybody who's like a resistance member or suspected resistance member or just anybody, just maybe like random people.
Seriously, I'm sure they're not checking too deep into it.
Well, I mean, it's clear that like they want answers, and his instruction to the new guy is like, I can't interrogate a dead man. So like it like they might be purposely killing people that have nothing to do with the resistance because they can't give them information, but they don't want to kill resistance people because they need that information. That would be the smart move, right?
Right. And it's sending out the image of like, we don't give a fuck. We'll kill whoever. You don't want to tell us something? That's fine. We'll kill. We don't give a shit. Don't be stupid. Well, we'll kill you. We don't give a shit.
I mean, from their perspective, like it is their job to quash a rebellion. Like they need to have order in the streets.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, like
you're not wrong. I don't like it.
Sure. Like I watch this show because I love to see people fighting the fascists.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you love to see people murdered, but you went a different way, so thank you.
But I mean, the fascists aren't just like cartoon villains who are like twirling their mustaches.
Right. Like, we get to know them in great detail.
They believe they're the good guys. They have to believe they're the good guys.
They don't
Except what happens when you're like a J. Edgar Hoover or an Oberstgruppenführer John Smith who had to switch teams? Or what about this Hawaiian dude that had to switch teams?
Like, there's no way they think they're doing the right thing, right?
I don't know. Sometimes you like the person with the most faith is the convert.
That sounds like a very common phrase that I've never heard before. And yikes.
I mean, it might be a common phrase. I don't know.
I don't know. It sounded like it was. I don't know. Have you ever met a born again Christian? Because yep.
I think I've met born again Christians, but I mean, like, I don't know what they're talking about. So like, I'm not hearing that much of what they're saying.
It's so static.
Kind of.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like, I'm happy for anyone whose religion tells them to do good things in the world. That seems like a good thing. So yeah, that's great. But everything else, like, I kind of just like, I just don't get it. Like, I know that words are coming at me, but they're bouncing off.
Yeah, it's boring.
I'm not saying it's boring. Like,
no, I am. I'm not speaking for you. Speak for me. All
right, so back to the neutral zone. Juliana gets shown the original film that Man in the High Castle made, which was propaganda, which was a fake to like give people hope. And it's all about like the Allies winning, and it sort of takes off and it really ignites hope. And then fucking like movie reels from another timeline or multiple different timelines start showing up, finding him. And those are real things from other possible outcome futures. But in the original, there's a clip of Juliana as a little kid. And turns
No.
out that she's in every single film reel that he didn't burn. And all of those are in Tagomi's hands now. And Tagomi has been watching them. And one of the ones that he watches, she's like a prisoner in like a prisoner transport thing. And she's being led in with the rest of them by Nazis, I think, into a cave.
Yeah, mineshaft cave thing. And don't do that. Don't
A
go
lot of
into
shit
a mine shaft if you're a
yeah.
prisoner. That's not going to come out to a good place.
Anyway, Man in the High Castle starts babbling about how, wait, that was you as a little kid? I didn't even know that. This means that it's time for you to take over.
Why does it mean that?
I don't know.
That.
I don't get it at all. Was there a prophecy? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. He did. What?
It really seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, but he like once she
But
says that, he's like, well, fuck, it's time. You said that. Time to do it.
Pretty much.
She doesn't want to do that. I don't want to do
And she's like, so wait, what happens to me? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, ask Tagomi. Tagomi knows it all. I got to get out of here.
But first, let's get attacked by Nazis in my own goddamn house.
Good thing both Juliana and Trudy get the drop on the gunmen.
Yeah, because they sleep with guns.
How is it? Like, I'm confused. These Nazi assassins are the worst.
They really are.
Why the fuck did they tie up Man in the High Castle and his wife, Lady in the High Castle, man and lady? The High Castles, if you will. Why did the Nazis tie up the High Castles and not just kill them?
Did they want info?
Maybe they do want info, but if that's true, why are they still in their bed? Why didn't they knock them out and drag them away?
Gagged.
They're bound and gagged by the time Juliana and Trudy wake up and take action. These assassins suck.
Yeah, they're
so I guess if you've got a rune on your lapel, you might not be the best. You might be a broken man. Maybe these guys have been broken in a similar way. I don't know. We'll never know.
Maybe everyone with that rune has murdered their father after being released from jail. That's what it means.
What a shitty gang to be a part of.
Oh no, I don't want that pin.
Yowza.
You.
Wyatt, the gun smuggler, like dude in the neutral zone, like
right.
He and Juliana cut a rug at Rick's Cafe.
Wow, that's some fancy newfangled phrase you got there.
But like, it's basically your favorite scene from Back to the Future.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly that.
Because the guy on stage is like, oh, here's a new one written by my friends out west. And then it's literally him singing over Elvis doing Can't Help Falling in Love with You. And there's like surf guitar for the first time. Like,
yep.
It's like surf guitar has just been invented in this moment.
I love it so much. It's so fucking stupid.
It's pretty fun. I wish Marty McFly would show up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Marvin Berry. Maybe it's Marvin Larry.
Maybe it's Matt Berry.
That's it, right? That was the show.
That's practically everything. And then at the very end, Eric Rader, hang on one sec. at the very end, Eric Rader goes to visit Joe Blake, and Joe Blake is like out back smoking a cigarette, and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, yeah." He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I've got those like travel documents that we made up
Cool,
so
cool,
that you can
cool.
like
I like travel
travel
documents.
incognito to like the
Neat.
Pacific states."
I'll just take those. Hey, you know what's great about this alley? It's exactly the same, only a little bit different than it was like a year or two ago, whenever that was. We got the pallets, we got some gravel, we got some dirt. Oh, see that dirt over there? Turn around, please. And I got this shovel too. Isn't this a great fucking shovel? And he fucking knocks him the fuck out. He is probably dead. But why though?
Yeah, I'm not clear what the deal is. He seems to have killed Eric Rader, and two guys that we don't know who they are come for the body while he leaves it. He's not going to like dirty his hands, I guess.
That
I'm not
was
really sure what's going on. Also, there's some sort of conspiracy going on with like George Rockwell, J. Edgar Hoover, maybe that gossip columnist, or maybe not. They wanted to do something to undermine John Smith, but John Smith's like in control. Also, Himmler is now like in charge of everything. Even his portrait is where like Hitler's portrait used to be.
mm,
So yeah, there's been a little bit of time since last season, but exciting stuff, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Have I convinced you not to be bored by the show?
Yeah, I don't want to watch it again. I felt like there was too much going on of nothing in between all that stuff we just talked about. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. Well, you know what? That's all the time we have for this
Oh my
episode.
God. You guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.